root property. Now, square root property. We're obviously going to be square rooting something, hence the name. What you need to do is make sure you get whatever's being squared by itself first, and then you're going to square root both sides. There's going to be something very important that we have to kind of bring up here that we're going to see in our solutions and common mistakes I see. Now, this first one I'm giving you, it can be factored. I would prefer if you factored it, it'd probably be easier. But technically, we can use the square root property as well. So our first goal is to get whatever's being squared by itself. So I would add 4 to both sides, just like I would just normally do to get x by itself. And then I have x squared equals 4. Once what's being squared, in this case x squared is by itself, I square root both sides. Square root of x squared is just x. Square root of 4 is 2. But since we're solving equations, it's going to be plus or minus 2. We technically have 2 solutions from this. If you recall with factoring, x squared minus 4 factors into x minus 2, x plus 2, and we would have answers of 2 and negative 2. So a square root property, once you take the square root, once the square root is taken, that means we have to add a plus or minus to the right side. And then that's our answer. We're done on that one. Second one, just building these up a little bit. Get the x squared by itself. So all we need to do is add 13 to both sides. We got x squared equals 20. Square root both sides. We got x equals plus or minus radical 20. Now, we need to simplify the radicals. So square root of 20 breaks into square root of 4 times the square root of 5. Square root of 4 is 2. Notice I'm carrying that plus or minus through our answer the entire way, and then we're left with the square root of 5. That's my answer. That's the acceptable answer. Anything less than that is not simplified, and you're losing credit on that. Another type of answer we could see is a complex answer. Let's check those out. We subtract 5. We're trying to get the x squared by itself. So we have negative 2x squared equals 14. Divide by negative 2. We get x squared equals negative 7. We take the square root of both sides. We get x equals plus or minus square root of negative 7. Now, square root of negative 7 can technically be broken into square root of negative 1 times the square root of 7. 7 is not a perfect square. The only factor that is a perfect square is 1. So I'm going to tack that negative along with it. The answer that I need to see for this one is x equals plus or minus I, square root of negative 1 is I, times the square root of 7. And there's your solution.